All right. So I won't be too long with this video. Just wanted to deal with this fight and briefly touch on the other two. I thought this fight was very strange. It was a destruction by Rodriguez, no doubt. Waterson went all out, tried to have a physical fight, went for a takedown early, and insisted on takedowns for the most part. But she started to leak badly, and she fell apart. The bleeding was too much, and she was stopped. She didn't have the strength, just too weak. Now, this performance has caused some fans to say that she should retire. I've seen comments like that she should hang him up, which is weird because I feel like she recently, in the fight before this, had her best performance against Luana Pinheiro. Of course, I thought she won, but that's a big difference from this performance. And fighting, that can happen. You can fall apart just like that. You know, you could just in one fight not show up and never show up ever again. Maybe this has happened to Michelle Waterson. But it's hard to say that she didn't show up in this fight. She was going for it. She was tenacious. She was definitely going for it. She was fighting for a stoppage. But of course, so was Rodriguez. And Rodriguez got the stoppage. But this was a very crazy fight. Very unexpected display of tenacity by Michelle Waterson. No discredit to Rodriguez, but Rodriguez always looks like a killer. She always fights like a killer. It's no surprise to see Rodriguez throw multi-strike combinations. Right? It's just not surprising. At least I wasn't surprised to see that. I was more so surprised by Waterson's willingness to go all out and be reckless. Like, I won't say reckless, but to fight as if she's going for a stoppage. Like, it was unexpected. I expected a more tactical fight, maybe spend some time striking. Why not? You might be able to best Rodriguez, a little bit striking. She didn't even really experiment as a striker. How long did she spend striking? Not long. And then she just started to spam takedowns. Now, early in the second round, she struck for a while, but she really wasn't doing too well. She was never doing too well. But Waterson got destroyed in this fight. She lost a lot of blood. She took a lot of damage. And it was a crazy fight. And it was interesting because before the fight, Waterson was talking about how she was going to get fight of the night. Fight of the night or a stoppage. That's what Waterson said. And going for a fight of the night, she ended up being the victim of a performance of the night, because that's what happened. The Rodriguez was awarded performance of the night for this fight. It was not awarded fight of the night. So that was unfortunate. Not exactly what Waterson hoped for. No win bonus, no fight of the night bonus. But she still lost a lot of blood, took a lot of damage. So rough sport, man. That's rough. You have to wonder sometimes, how much can a fighter take? Will Waterson be the same in her next fight? It would be understandable if she wasn't. You can see how, when you have fights like this over and over, you'll deteriorate, One day you'll show up and you're just not the same. Now, I don't know if that's the case here, because Waterson tried to fight in a different style, it looked like to me. The way she insisted on being a ground fighter early, making a physical fight like that. She usually don't fight like that. She insisted on being a wrestler. I guess maybe she thought Rodriguez was very weak on the ground and she would make it a ground fight, but that didn't work. Rodriguez's ground game good enough to get up if the fighter on top of her is Michelle Waterson. And that ultimately led to Waterson's loss and a bad beating before the loss. She was hurt to the body. You saw Waterson wince, embrace herself to defend and protect her body. Those knees hurt. Okay. When Rodriguez smells blood, she's going to start teeing off on you. Simple as that. But, Waterson, I think this is a historical fight for her because of how crazy it was. Like, I've never seen a fight like this where a chick was getting beat up that badly. This looked bad. Visually, the optics, Waterson taking shots like that with this bloody face and, blood being flung all over the place. She's constantly leaking out of her nose. Gruesome optics. To see a fighter with a face in that condition still absorbing strikes, it's a bad visual. And some of the shots that Waterson absorbed, I used one of them, a screenshot from one of those shots for the thumbnail to this video. She had a dramatic reaction to a lot of these shots, where the shots took complete control of her body almost. So I didn't like the way she responded to some of these offensive flurries. She would run away and she would catch up to her. Rodriguez would catch up to her, start beating her some more. She would take a bad beating, run away. Rodriguez catch up to her and beat on her some more. Sometimes she looked spent. The ref actually could have stopped that fight a few times there, realistically. But Waterson actually got a few takedowns. She managed to get her down. Which brings me to my next point. Why on earth would Marina Rodriguez call out Tatiana Suarez? Marina Rodriguez. Really? I would have thought that if possible, avoid Suarez. That's what I would have thought Rodriguez would want. No, she's going after Suarez. I think that's a big mistake. Suarez, oh my goodness. Being taken down by Suarez ain't nothing like being taken down by Michelle Waterson. Michelle Waterson couldn't even maintain top control. I don't know how many people noticed that. She couldn't maintain on Marina Rodriguez, of all people. And if Waterson can take you down, yeah, Suarez is going to take you down. But I think she understands that Suarez is next in line, for the most part, for a title shot. So that's cool. Marina is she's very game. She understands the business. And she's not trying to duck anybody. But this was I thought the ref should have stopped it sooner. Waterson was pretty much done. After a lot of those flurries, Waterson would like run away. You could tell she was not in a good state, like mentally, or her confidence was gone. The way she would wince and respond, she had poor responses bodily. Her body responses to these shots. Referee definitely should have stopped the fight sooner. So yeah, that's a tough loss too for Waterson. Right? For what I hear, she had her kid was at cage side. That's horrible for your daughter to see. You know, especially between rounds. Cameraman was all up in her face. Took a bad beating. Now, it wasn't too bad in the second round. You know, wasn't too bad. She didn't take too much damage. And even those few little shots at the end wasn't too bad. But, hey, good for Rodriguez. She needed a sort of bounce back fight. She looked real bad in there against Amanda Lemos. Amanda Lemos, a fighter who looked bad here recently against Wei Li. So that's something that Rodriguez can hang her hat on. The fact that the fighter who exposed her and made her look very bad was recently made to look very bad herself. And that maybe Rodriguez herself probably feels like she could give Wei Li a better fight than Amanda Lemos did. At least that's the way it would be promoted most likely. And I don't have a problem with that. So if Rodriguez can continue to look good, I wouldn't mind a Rodriguez Wei Li fight. I remember many of us talking about that, potential of that fight happening. Wei Li against Marina. I wouldn't mind that fight. I just want to see Rodriguez with a better ground game. Because if her ground game is on point, she can either stuff takedowns really good. She has to be, to some extent good at with her takedown defense and have some ability to get back to her feet. It's too many moments where she's just laying there and she's not even trying to get up. Yeah, she can't be doing that. Another thing, I made that poll, and I'm gonna look up the results right now. With Alexa Grasso, isn't she like the most special fighter in the history of the UFC right now? She is like the only fighter with her own belt that she's donning on the website. Right? She's donning this belt on the website. And most people said yes. I said Garza basically has a Mexican belt. It does seem odd. She's the only fighter to have one. They use it on their websites. Should all champions get a special belt? Maybe if they're maybe of their national flag colors and design. And most people say yes. But yeah, that's something to me. That's something. Why does she get a Mexican themed belt? Shouldn't Wei Li have a China themed belt? Shouldn't Wei Li's belt be red and black and have red and black the China designs? John Jones, shouldn't he have an American themed belt? Right? Russia, so on and so forth. No, only Garza. Now, I remember when Garza first came out, Dana White was crazy about her. Crazy about Alexa Grasso, man. And he had big, big plans for Alexa Grasso. And now he finally got what he was talking about back then. So yeah, Carla is pretty much not in the picture right now for Wei Li Zhang. And it's pretty much accepted that the next title contender is either Yan Xiaonan or Tatiana Suarez. Most people believe it's going to be Yan Xiaonan, especially from what I understand. The announcement the UFC will be going back to China at the end of this year. It's almost guaranteed Wei Li Zhang is going to headline that card. If you're talking about a fight, or a card in China, Zhang main event against Yan Xiaonan, you better believe it. They're not going to pass on that fight. This is the perfect fight to have leading up towards the end of the year, because they can go ahead and schedule Marina Rodriguez against Tatiana Suarez. I think they should give Marina that fight. Give Marina that fight. I know she's ranked number 8 right now, and she's asking for a number 3 ranked fighter. But Rodriguez been through a lot, and she just got that stoppage going. Give that girl that fight. Andrade will be all right. Lemos will be all right. That's a big thing to ask for, especially for a potential title contender. Because the thought is, why would I fight Rodriguez, a number 8 ranked fighter, somebody who got destroyed by Amanda Lemos? Didn't Rodriguez? I mean, how many times has Rodriguez lost? Truthfully speaking, I can't even remember off the top of my head. But that loss to Amanda Lemos, that was a deconstruction. Okay? She also lost to Verna. She was on a 2-fight losing streak before last night's victory. So she ain't doing that well herself. Yeah. She's just now back on a win streak. Right? What about Waterson? What was she doing before this fight? Before that beating? She was on a 3-fight lose. So this was a 2-fight losing streak versus a 3-fight losing streak for Michelle Waterson. And you know what? Maybe Waterson just doesn't have it. She's on a 4-fight skid right now. And this was a bad loss. TKO stoppage. Oh, man. Only the second TKO stoppage defeat of her career. I don't know about that. And she looked bad. That was the thing. I mean, it was a good takedown and everything, but she couldn't really do nothing with it. And she wasn't that effective. Just going forward, after failing to do something with that takedown, she just wasn't successful at all. But she's back in the win column. And, hey, I say give it to Rodriguez, but we'll see what the UFC does. But you can almost guarantee Yan is going to get that title shot. Now, recently, Yan Xiaonan went on she had an interview with somebody. And she said, you know what? I'm cuter. I'm prettier than Wei Li. Did Yan Xiaonan really say that? Did she really say that? Oh boy. Oh boy. She said I'm prettier and a more technical fighter. Did Yan really take it there? Now this is the next big fight for
He obviously saw it.
And listen, I'm having a blast with Wei Li Zhang as the champion because every fight for her is going to be like a big, big, big fight. That's why I was always happy with Wei Li as the champion. Yeah, I remember a long time ago, I talked about that eventually we're going to have a bunch of big fights. If Wei Li holds the belt, be a bunch of big fights like that.
That Wei Li Zhang and Amanda Lemos was booked next. How surprised were you that they went with that fight instead of Wei Li fighting you?
韦利跟拉莫斯打比赛卫冕，然后你那场比赛你觉得惊讶吗？安排他们俩打？
我觉得应该。
That's not the question I'm looking for.
I hope I will be in that card, and of course I hope it will be a title fight.
Do you think it was a missed opportunity for the UFC not to have you and Wei Li Zhang fight for the title in China next?
所以你觉得 UFC 会
That's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen. They're gonna match them up in China. Do y'all know how huge that's gonna be? And listen, if they make this fight, Wei Li is in. I don't know, man. Look, she's gonna take Yan down. Look forward to her taking Yan down, and I don't think she's gonna fail at taking Yan down. But if she can't, man, Wei Li's gonna be in trouble. Now Wei Li's a good striker. Don't get me wrong, but she's gonna have her hands full.
I want to fight for the belt. Who is the champion? I will fight.
How do you think Amanda Lemos does against Wei Li? How do you think that fight goes down?
韦利跟那个拉莫斯，你觉得跟大腕们你有哪个是最喜欢的吗？
安德拉那个安
印象深刻的记忆是什么？对蜘蛛，
就是距离控制打的比赛特别的像湿滑，像
Because you know the media will lie just for a soundbite, just for a click.
And that you thought you would be better as a champion than Wei Li. You actually told me that you thought it's because you were prettier. Can you elaborate? Can you just explain why you felt you would be a better champion for China than Wei Li? Can you elaborate? Can you just explain why you felt you would...
Yeah, that is.
You once said that for when it comes to a Chinese champion, that you thought you would be better as a champion than Wei Li. You actually told me that you thought it's because you were prettier. Can you elaborate? Can you just explain why you felt you would be a better champion for China than Wei Li?
他说直接说了，如果你是冠军的话，你会比韦利是一个更好的冠军。然后因为不光打得好，而且长得也比他更漂亮。然后你现在还想更多说一点，为什么你会比韦利是一个更好的冠军吗？
因为我觉得我哪地方都比他好，就没什么的。我觉得我长得好看，比他高，形象好。我觉得我的技术啊，还有我的比赛也不差，也很有观赏性。
Yeah, I think I'm prettier and I'm more technical fighter.
Oh God, really? Oh, the build up to this fight. Oh my goodness, is about to be hilarious. this is going to be hilarious. We really about to have this as the build up. A narrative of I'm prettier as a Chinese champion. They're not going to let Yan escape from this. They're not going to let her escape. Every time they interview her.
And I'm a more technical fighter. So I think from each aspect, I'm pretty confident I'm better than her.
Now, Yan knows that's not true.
To have a
Now, let's be honest. She knows that's not true. She's going to say that as a competitor. But she knows on the ground, she's going to be occupied with getting back up and making it a stand-up fight. Now, she might be able to do that. But she knows she's going to be taken down. And look here, man. Just because she's standing up with Wei Li, don't mean she's going to survive that either. Because Wei Li got power. Now, they both got power. But on the ground, who we kidding? Wei Li standing up can be touched up, I think, against Yan. As they stand, I would give Yan a solid chance. A solid chance. Now, I don't think Wei Li would ever be running in like Jessica Andrade was. But Yan can obviously crack. And she could probably still put a hurt on her. Kanako Murata against Demopoulos. I got Murata. I'm going to take Murata in that fight. Demopoulos is silly. She seems childish. I'm starting to, those types of fighters are fading out, man. You want to know who the girls who going to survive, who do, they say the strong survive. Look at their Instagram. Those girls who constantly dedicated to the craft, those are the ones who reach the top. I think Yan just simply has a very strong work ethic like Wei Li. They got strong work ethic, really good discipline. And they made it to the top. At one point they were both unranked. But Yan, stop this with I'm prettier. That's a horrible. These girls just they don't know how to act. They don't know how to act. But listen, I ain't mad at that. That's actually kind of a funny talking point in the lead up to a title fight. That Yan actually believes she makes a prettier Chinese champion or in a prettier face to represent Stop it, Yan. Wei Li is pretty. Stop it. All these girls are pretty. Stop it. Cut that out. We're not going to do that, ladies. Y'all cut it out. But the potential for that fight is good. Another thing I'm wondering, though, is who's going to move up to 125, where the real heat is. Now, listen, strawweight, I believe, was represented well tonight or last night. I've been talking about how flyweight is where it's at. It's the hottest division, hands down. But Waterson and Rodriguez did not do strawweight a disservice, not in the least bit. That was one of their most memorable fights. That was a very, very violent fight. But I still believe flyweight is where it's at. There's more intrigue, there's more drama. Especially with the potential of Rose fighting Valentina. The potential of friends, or at least former friends, actually fighting each other. Fighters who actually sparred in the past and trained with each other. That's dramatic. Especially with both of them possibly being former champions when they fight. Crazy stuff, crazy possibilities in the flyweight division, man. But like I said, Tatiana Suarez is the most interesting fighter, along with Yan Xiaonan, of course. But Suarez is the only undefeated fighter at the weight. Nobody's laid the blueprint on how to deal with Tatiana Suarez. Lupi Godinez is ranked. Karolina Kowalkiewicz is ranked. You know, we'll see what Lupi can do. I don't think Lupi is going to be able to hang at the top, but who knows? She in that Lobo gym with Alexa Grasso, right? They're training buddies, if I'm not mistaken, right? They're training buddies. So I'm not going to put nothing past her. Anybody following in the footsteps of Alexa Grasso, now you got to be careful. Amanda Ibas, Manon Fior moved down. Aaron is the number 2 ranked fighter right now. But yeah, I don't expect Andrade, even though she ranked here, as bad as she's doing right now, you may as well not even consider her in the mix as a title contender. She's almost certain to have to fight down in a very... Isn't she, if she's not already scheduled for a fight? I'm about to see right now. Let me see if I can pull this up. No, I can't. So, sorry. Can't pull it out. But yeah, UFC, you know, we see how you're doing, Alexa Grasso. You have a liking, you have a soft spot for Alexa Grasso, and you've given her not only a special belt, but you've made her the number 1 pound-for-pound ranked fighter. Now, some people disagree with that. They think it should be Wei Li. For a minute, they had Wei Li's photo up there because they say, hey, look, Wei Li is a 2-time champion, and she just defended her belt decisively, blew Lemos out the water every single round, whereas Grasso just fought to a draw. And, you know, I think that's a legit argument. Kudos to the people who believe Wei Li should be the number 1 pound-for-pound ranked fighter, female fighter. Who do you believe should be number 1? And that's another potential fight. Wei Li against Alexa. If Grasso can hold on to that belt, it wouldn't surprise me if Wei Li one day moves up and challenges her for it. Yeah. Yan is, she's trolling. I think she's just trolling. That's her way of trolling Wei Li Zhang. But she can forget about that. There's a lot of men who would date Wei Li in a heartbeat. Yeah, forget about that. But Yan is a pretty chick. I'll give her that. But I think she's a little too close, actually, in looks, as far as on the scale of 1 to 10 to Wei Li, to really try to pull rank on to really try to pull rank on her. But yeah, it is what it is. That is all for this live stream.